Chapter 22. Word Game. We slept for what was left of that night. When I woke up, freshening winds had moved in from the west. Light rain pattered on the window. The Lilo on the floor was empty. I imagined where the clue of the strange man with the ticket might lead, and how it might fit in with the rest of the theories left on my list, depending on how you look at it. I remembered my thoughts from the night before, about how things can go clockwise and anti-clockwise at the same time. There was a tangle in my head. Cat came in, wriggling into her fur collared jacket. It was tight for her. First one arm, then another, went up into the air as she squeezed it into the sleeves. "I'm off, Ted," she whispered, "to get the photos blown up before anyone notices. Back in an hour." She put her finger to her lips, picked up the photo packet containing the negatives, and went out. I looked across my desk. The photos of the clothes on the washing line were scattered over it, and I could see the jumbled images of Dad's tartan shirt, pinned up by the shoulders and cuffs, and Mum's black long-sleeved t-shirt upside down, and Cat's school sweatshirt, and Dad's boxer shorts, and 3 of Mum's bras and my pyjamas. I put the photos into a tidy pile and then lay back on my pillow. The cool air from a front across London fanned my forehead. I imagined the weather satellite picture, a jumble of patchy cloud, looking like the jumble in my brain. That's what I need, I thought. A bird's eye view from a satellite, a geostationary satellite 36,000 kilometres above the Earth, can beam down images in seconds. It measures the heat of the clouds and the surface temperature of the sea. It tells meteorologists what's happening, and can help them understand the approaching weather systems and make predictions. Then I remembered, even a geostationary satellite can be 2 things at once, still or moving. It stays in the same place in relation to the Earth's surface, but only because it orbits at the same speed at the Earth's spin. Clockwise or anti-clockwise, male or female, half empty or half full, stationary or moving, depending on how you look at it. I groaned and dug my head with its swirling brainwaves under my pillow. Mum and Aunt Gloria's voice called up and down the stairs. There was no sound of Dad's voice. My clock said 9:02, which meant he'd gone to work. Then Rashid's voice came up from the kitchen. I smelled toast. An hour went by and I got dressed, put on the shirt I'd worn the day before and the day before that, but I didn't think Mum would notice. At 10:05, I crept out onto the landing just as Cat's shape appeared through the frosted glass of the front door. It opened slowly. Cat was sneaking in with her key. She saw me at the top of the stairs and put her finger to her mouth again, but Mum had just heard her. She appeared from the kitchen before Cat could go up the stairs. "Where have you been, Cat? I didn't say you could wander out if you felt like it." "Hi, Cat," I said. "Did you get it?" Cat stared at Mum, then at me. "My compass," I said. I went downstairs and tapped Mum on the elbow. "I think I dropped it out of my pocket yesterday. Cat said you'd have a look in the front garden for me." "Oh," Mum said. She ruffled my head. "I didn't know you'd lost it. Sorry, Cat. I thought you'd gone off somewhere. Did you get it?" "No," Cat said. "I hunted around the bushes. Nothing." "It's only a cheap one," I said. "But good at tracking the wind direction." "Maybe," Mum said. "When all this is over," she paused and shook her head. "If all this is ever over, we'll get you a new one, and something for Cat too. If you both stay quiet and calm while all this—" She stopped and shrugged, shook her head and returned to the kitchen. Cat looked at me and I looked at her. "Go, Ted," Cat whispered. She punched me in the arm so hard and he fell down the stairs. "Never thought I'd see the day. You lied." We went upstairs into my room and Cat took out a large card envelope that had been stuffed up the front. "The man in the shop," she said. "He knows me now. He blew up the pictures for me in less than an hour. Here they are." She ripped the seal and took out the 2 large prints. One was of the strange man who'd sold us the ticket. His face was blurred but recognisable, with his stubbly chin, dark eyebrows and high forehead. He squinted into the light. The other was of 3 torsos, but the middle one was his. You could recognise a shabby leather jacket, a hairy neck, a black t-shirt or sweatshirt, and his fingers with a roll-up cigarette in them. The packet was open and flapping. We could see some of what was written on the t-shirt, in white lettering. Untitled Chapter. The beginnings and ends of each of 2 words, were cut off by the jacket. "A word game," Cat murmured. She sat on my desk and grabbed 2 pieces of paper. "We have to find out what those words have those letters in the middle." She copied out the letters and looked at them. To the right of the I, do you see, Ted? There's a downward stroke and then a bit of a diagonal, perhaps an N? I considered the alphabet in capital letters. Could be an M, maybe, but somehow I think it's an N. She tapped her pencil. I heard muttering. Bont, cont, don't, eont, and so on until she came to zont. Then she threw the pencil down. "Hopeless," she said. "What about the second word?" I said. "Maybe it's recurring." I thought of recurring because my favourite number is 3.3 recurring. I like the way the point threes go off into infinity, like a chain of gods. Recurring? Hey, that would fit. She wrote down the word and muttered it under her breath. She looked at the word in silence. "You know, Ted, I've been having one," she said. "What?" "A recurring nightmare. Every night since Salem went." "What happens in it?" She shut her eyes. "First I'm in a morgue, and there's this boy lying on a slab, and I'm too frightened to look at his face. Then suddenly I'm in a pod on the eye, and it's turning fast, faster than it really does. It speeds up, I'm looking out, and I can't see anything. It's foggy and white mist everywhere. Then the eye stops. At the very top it stops, and the glass..." "What?" "The glass dissolves, Ted, and I'm falling through the white spokes, like through a cat's cradle, and the fog. I can't see where I'm going to land." Her hand went to her throat. "A dream, Cat," I said. She shook herself. Yeah, I know." She looked at the letters and sighed. "If it was recurring, the ring would go too far to the right. The G would be under the armpit." She rapped the pencil on her knuckle. "Why do people have to have words on clothes, Ted?" "I don't know," I said. "It looks funny. People walking around like signpost or billboard adverts. It's not my idea of style, especially those joke t-shirts with like fragile goods handled with care." She grinned. "I saw that one the other day on a lady with the most enormous..." She cupped her arms in front of her chest. I said. "Telling me, but I don't think this is a joke t-shirt. It's only 2 words." "You get ones with names of universities," I remembered. "So you do, but probably not," she said. "There'd be a crest or something, a design or motto to go with a college name." "If it is a college, would it help knowing it?" "How do you mean?" "Well, you can buy those sweatshirts anywhere. You might be anybody. There's this boy in my class, and he has a sweatshirt that says Oxford University, but he's too young to go to Oxford, isn't he?" Kat's head went into her hands, and she groaned. "This is a waste of time." "On the other hand," I continued, "there's this other boy whose mum picks him up from school, and she wears a t-shirt with Gardens for the Disabled on it. The letters circle around a big daisy, and it's an organisation where she works." Kat's head came up. "True," she said. "Ontly Eker," she muttered. "Is it where he works, or a club or a society? Something he's part of, something that might just lead us to him." She looked at the fuzzy torso, the faded white letters. She leaped up like a jack-in-the-box. "Security," she yelled. "Sorry, the second word, Dumbo. It's security." My head went off to one side. "He works in security." "Security," I agreed. I was impressed and disappointed at the same time. I hadn't seen the word before. "What about the first word?" Kat sat down again, frowning in concentration. Ontly, she muttered like a mantra. "Kat," I said, "there's something I don't understand about the photos." "Shh," she said, and continued the mantra. "Why aren't the letters the wrong way round?" "Kat." "Hey, you know, when you take a photo, why don't letters appear back to front like a mirror image?" She didn't answer. Ontly, she went. Then she stopped. "What did you say?" I said. "Why aren't the letters..." I stopped. Kat was staring at me, her eyes large and round, her mouth was open. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you off." No, she began. But what she was about to say was she was cut off by an ear-piercing screech from downstairs. Chapter 23. Catastrophe. The shriek had come from the kitchen. Kat grasped and gripped my hand. Then she ran from the room and pounded downstairs. I followed her as fast as I could. I wondered whether somebody had been murdered. It sounds like a TV of a scream you get in old-fashioned TV detective stories, when the maid goes in with a tray and finds a dead body and drops the tray and makes an ear-piercing noise. An image of Aunt Gloria finding Salem dead in the cellar went through my head, and a bad feeling went up my esophagus. Kat stopped in the kitchen doorway. I peered over her shoulder to see what was happening beyond. Mum, Aunt Gloria and Rashid were standing at the table, staring at Aunt Gloria's mobile phone. "What's happened?" Kat said. Nobody replied. It was as if we'd come upon a game of statues. Kat walked over to the table and reached over to pick up the mobile. "Don't touch it," Aunt Gloria whispered. Kat's hand paused. "Why not?" Mum pushed Kat's hand away. "Just stay out of this, Kat. Can't you see Chloe's upset?" Rashid's hands went up palm upwards. Come, let's sit down. Calm down," he said. "Let's get to the bottom of this." Everybody obeyed except me. There were only 4 chairs. I stood by Mum's shoulder. "Gloria," Rashid soothed. He took her hand and stroked it like he would a cat. "Tell us what happened." Aunt Gloria swallowed. I've been carrying my mobile with me everywhere, never losing sight of it. It's been by my pillow in my pocket in my hand, all the time, just in case Salem should call. Then, just now... Oh, she wiped a tear off her cheek. For 2 minutes I put it here, on the table, while I went into the living room to call the airline. From the landline. I had to call the airline, you see, because by rights... She shook her head and lips squashed together. By rights, today... We should be flying across the Atlantic, Salem and I I rang them to explain why we won't make the flight, and the lady on the phone was very kind. Her lips went one way, her nose another, and her eyes disappeared altogether. She was crying. I couldn't see why someone being kind should make Aunt Gloria cry, but he did. She said she'd hold our reservations. That's if Salem is found. They'll put us on the first available flight to New York. So I said thank you, and I hung up. I put the phone back, and I came back in here, and it was ringing. The mobile. It's on the table, ringing, and nobody was in here, nobody to hear it. I picked it up, answered it, and it rang off. Could have been anyone, Rashid said. Aunt Gloria shook her head. She picked up the phone and showed the display panel. The name of the last caller was displayed. Salem. He tried to call me. I called back, of course, right away, but nobody picked up. It was switched off again. Nobody? Oh, Salem, you called me, and I wasn't even there for you. The last 6 words came out in a wail that grew louder until the you... And then she got stuck on the ooh sound. Oh, she cried, like a baby that's dropped his bottle. Viking North Utshire, South Utshire, 40s cyclone 6 to gale 8, I chanted in my head, decreasing 5, rough or very rough. Oh, Glow, Mum said. She took her by the elbow and they went to stand out in the back garden. I saw Mum handing Aunt Gloria her pack of cigarettes and a lighter, which is very strange because my mother is a nurse and nurses know all about how smoking is hazardous for human health. Aunt Gloria would have been better off with a cup of tea because in my book of first aid it says a hot drink is good for you if you've had a shock. Rashid sat slumped on the kitchen table. He put his head in his hands and muttered something about calling the press. Then he went out into the garden too. Kat looked at me. Ted, she said, this is getting serious. Serious, I agreed. She got up from the table and walked around it 3 times until I felt dizzy. I could see she was thinking. When Kat thinks, she moves about a lot, but when I think, apart from putting my head to one side, I'm still. I didn't like the way Kat was thinking. Her ponytail swung from one side to the other and her lips were pressed up tight against her mouth. But no sound came out. Suddenly, she went into the living room and I followed her. She picked up the A to Z phone book from the shelf and flicked through it with eyebrows pulled together. Then she turned a page over and nodded. She tore out the page and folded it. Ted, she said, I'm going out this instant, but you're just going to have to lie it again. I've gone round to Tiff's. Tiffany's is Kat's best friend at school. But you're not going to Tiffany's, are you? I said. No, she said. Stop twitching your head like that. All you have to do to say to Mum is I popped over to Tiff's. Got it? Popped over to Tiff's. For the afternoon. Don't drone it like that. Say it like you mean it, Ted. But I don't mean it, Kat. It's not true. Kat slapped her forehead. How did I end up with you as a brother? How? You're a hopeless case. Where are you really going, Kat? If I tell you, you'll tell the others. I won't, Kat. Not if they don't ask me. They will ask you. There's no time to lose. I've got to check this thing out myself. No, I said. No, Kat. She was in the hall, putting on her jacket. No, I said. She ran upstairs to fetch her leopard skin backpack. I followed her. She stuffed a blown-up photo of the strange man's blurry face into it with the phone book page and ran downstairs again. No, I said, following. My hand shook itself out. No, Kat. I'll be back as soon as I can. Kat! She opened the front door. Kat! I grabbed the sleeve of her jacket. Take me with you, please. Oh, get off, Ted, she said. She tried to slap my hand away. I grunted. I held on. Let go, Ted. She shoved me hard back through the front door. I'm sorry, Ted. You're really good at thinking, but you're not good at doing. Come with me. You won't be any use. She slammed the door in my face, and I saw her silhouette go down the path. I slumped to the hall carpet and felt feeling like a molten magma churned in my belly. My foot banged up against the skirting board and my hand shook itself out and my brain went into a whirling vortex of bad feelings. Catastrophe. Cataclysm. Catalogue of disaster. Hurricane Katrina. Mean, mad, mean cat. Chapter 24. Bingo. I went upstairs before Mum and the others found me. I didn't want to explain anything. I didn't want her to tell the Tiffany lie. But first, I fetched a phone book. I wanted to find out which page Kat had torn out. You would think that this would be easy, but it wasn't. The Business and Services book for London has 989 pages. The pages are floppy and thin. When one page is missing, it doesn't automatically open on that page. You have to search page by page until you see a break in the page numbering at the top. I started at the beginning with the businesses that are called things with number beginnings, like 00 Finance. By page 6, you're on the A's. By 75, you're on the B's. By Eye of the Needle Software Solutions, my own eyes were like needles and my fingers were black. The pages rubbed against my finger pads like hot and wool as I turned them. Sweat trickled down my neck and the cool breeze of the morning had gone. The temperature was climbing downstairs and I heard the police arrive. I started on the F's, by Family Fashion. I was beginning to wonder about going the other way, starting on the Z's and working backwards. But I'd seen Cat hunting through the book and I'd had the impression she'd be looking near the start. Then I remembered about mirrors. I picked up the book and rifled through it the way Cat had done, but in front of the mirror, on my wardrobe door. Mirror image, the other way round, back to front, depending on how you look at it. I remembered Cat staring at me after I'd asked her about why letters in photos appear the right way round and not back to front. Then I dropped the phone book. Ont. Front. My favourite weather word. Why hadn't I thought of it sooner? I skipped forward through Fashion, Felt, Fisher, Flower, Fortune. Sure enough, page 333 to 334 was missing, as well as all entries between Frock Galore and Future and Futura. The rest was easy. Ontly Ecure. Frontline security. I said it out loud, what Dad says whenever he finishes the weekend crossword. Bingo.